Good afternoon. This is Kyle Morton. I'm with the Team Georgia Marketplace project. I wanted to welcome you to the Wave 5 of the Technical Colleges, the Go Live webinar. Today we'll go through for the technical colleges that are part of this wave the process of doing a cart and how to assign your cart to a supervisor or to someone else to approve the cart. That will take roughly about 30 to 45 minutes depending on the number of questions that we have. We'll also cover in that time period, once you've gotten a cart assigned to you, how to go in and assign that cart to the next person in the path. Then after that, if your role in Team Georgia Marketplace is just to request things to purchase or approve things to purchase, and then you will be able to log off the webinar, and the rest of the webinar will cover for your procurement department, or if you're a PeopleSoft requester, how to take those carts and process them and pull them into the PeopleSoft application to create a purchase order. So I'm going to start off by first going through, just to give you an idea for this wave. This is what we call the Wave 5, so you're the 5th group of technical colleges to go live on Team Georgia Marketplace. And this wave is Athens, Atlanta, Gwinnett, Chattahoochee, and Georgia Northwestern. From this slide that you can see, this is basically your contact information when you need it. If you have questions about how to do your cart, how your cart needs to be routed, how it needs to be approved. Also, if you have specific questions about the process or how it may work at your individual college, you would contact this group of users that are called the super users. The majority of them are in your financials or your procurement department, where you can, and so you should have their contact information. Hopefully you've been getting some communications from them recently on training and the go live date, and hopefully some of you have had the chance to also do some labs with them as well. So this page just basically tells you who is part of this wave. There is just one more wave after this, Wave 6, and after that wave, all of the technical colleges will be live on Team Georgia Marketplace. So the first steps, hopefully you received from your procurement department your user ID and password, assuming that you had gone in and you've taken the online training classes for the cart shopper and the cart approver class. Your user ID will be your full email address. So this is just an example that's up here. So it should be your email address. You should have been provided the password, which we initially set to password, and I'm going to show you once we log in into the application how to reset your own password and also how to set up your hint questions. So the SciQuest application or Team Georgia Marketplace application is up and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where you can go in and enter carts. But if you have problems logging in, especially if you've forgotten your password, then you want to be able to have a password hint question so that you can get your password reset through the application and not have to contact your procurement department. One of the things that we have had a few people have been trying to go in there, but you've tried to self-register yourself from the login page, and you don't want to self-register. Everyone who is supposed to that should enter carts or get the carts assigned to them have been submitted to our group that has loaded all of the users and set up all of the users for this wave. So you don't need to register. Some of you did register, and you probably got some rejection notifications over the last couple of days. But I think we've reached out to most of you and given you your correct access. So what we'll walk through, we're going to walk through how to create a cart from what's called a hosted and punch-out statewide contract supplier. So those will be the one we're going to do today is going to be an Office Max purchase. We're also going to do a cart for what we call a non-catalog item, or from a vendor that's not a statewide contract vendor. We'll walk through how to create the form for that and how to add comments and attachments to the carts. and we'll also go through how to take your cart once you've put in what you need and done everything that you've been trained on for your cart, how to assign that to the proper person. Also, you should be receiving what are called quick reference guides that walk you through this process. It doesn't answer all of the questions. It just gives you basically how to do a cart. Your specific college may have taken those guides and added some steps to them that are specific to your college. But this will basically the quick reference guides will walk you through step by step how to get a cart into the system. So I'm going to go ahead and log in to this site. Hopefully you've gotten this URL. It was on my PowerPoint. We will be going through once I run through a process, and I'll check the questions where you can type in some questions in the webinar. This is also being recorded, so it will be sent out to, once I record the link, it'll actually be uploaded to YouTube, and it will be available for you to go back and watch if you have any questions or to be able to review it. So I'm going to log in. So this is the login page for Team Georgia Marketplace to be a shopper. This create an account. This is what you will not use. So we have already created users for your access. If you need an account, if you haven't received any information about your account, that may mean that you haven't taken the training class yet, but hopefully somebody's contacted you about that as well. So I'm just going to log in as the state shopper. So once I log in, the first thing it will do when I log in is I want you to go and reset your password. And set up your password hint questions. So from the top, you'll see your name, and you just hit the drop down, and you want to go into View My Profile. And so from View Your Profile, you can click on Change Password. And it's just an easy prompt. It will be what your old password is, and then you put in your new password, and then you confirm it and change your password. Okay, so everybody should go in. First thing you should do is go in and change your password. And then if you click on this link called username, phone number, email, etc., if you click on that, this basically shows you, it'll have your name and your phone number and your email address. You should leave that as your technical college email address. And you'll already be set up with a business unit and an agency number. So some of you are 822 or 827, 829, depending on what what's called your business unit number. That'll already be set up for you. And then underneath this password, you've got the password hint question. So you can basically go in and pick one of the questions that is in this list, or you can define your own security question. And you could put in there anything that you want, and then you just put in the answer and confirm the answer as well. And so that way, if you forget your password, then you just have to answer that question, and it will email you a new password. So that's the first thing that you want to do once you log in, is reset your password and set up your password hint question. The SciQuest application can work on any mobile device as well. So you can use it from an iPad or your phone, or from any PC or Mac. So you'll use these icons over on the left-hand side. So click on the Home, which is basically that when you first log in. This, of course, is a training environment. So when you log into the production environment, you'll see many more links that say punch out. They'll have descriptions of the type of contracts that are out there. But one of the things I like to do when you first get familiar with it is to go from the browse and click on the contracts link. And you can do a search from this link, and it will bring up basically a list of all of the all of the statewide contracts, and they have the name, and you can click on those links and open up the contract to find out more information about the contract. Is it mandatory? So that means you have to purchase off of it, or is it convenient? There's a lot of ordering instructions. there are documents about the contract, about what is involved, or what products or services the contract is involved. So it's a good idea just to spend some time to see all of the different types of contracts that are already loaded into the application. But when you're ready to shop, so what we're going to do is start off by doing an office supply order with OfficeMax. So you'll notice that in this section of punch-out suppliers, you'll see the link for OfficeMax. So you just click on OfficeMax. And that will actually take you from the SyQuest application out to the OfficeMax website. And you'll notice, for example, this first time that I log into OfficeMax, they want me to create a PIN for myself. And so you'll need to do that when you do, with some suppliers, they want to have Staples and OfficeMax do this. It's just a PIN number that you can use in case you have questions about your order. So I'm just going to say I don't have a PIN, and then I just fill out some basic information about myself. And so that's just a one-time thing that it will ask you to do, and each time you log back in, it'll already know who you are, okay? And they'll email you actually a PIN number that you can use in case you have questions about your order. Some suppliers work differently than that. Sometimes some of them you don't have to have a PIN. It just depends on the different type of link or different type of website that the supplier has. So I'm going to go through and set up my create a new order. So I'm logged in, so I'm just going to go to create a new order. And I can go through, I can see a list of all of the state of Georgia contracted items that would be out there that are in. I can do a search, like if I know my product number, I can key that in the search field, or I can browse through the different categories. So for example, if I want to order some gel pens, I'll type in gel pens and do a search. And all the different type of gel pens come up, and I just put the quantity that I want to order, and I add them to the cart. If I want to put something else on my cart, I just come back to the search, and let's say I want to find some file folders. So I'm going to add those to my cart as well. And you'll notice that my cart just keeps getting filled up at the top, very similar to how it would work with Amazon, for example. So once I've filled up my cart and I've entered the things that I want, that I'd like to be purchased, I then click on the checkout. So it's going to take those items that are out in OfficeMax and bring them back into my shopping cart over in SyQuest. So you'll notice that now on my shopping cart, this is the name of my cart. It's going to have the date, and it's going to have my email address in it, and then just a number for 01. Okay. You should leave that cart name the same. I'm going to show you where you can put a description of your cart, which is helpful for you later to be able to find the status of your cart. Once you've got the items in your cart, you then proceed to checkout. And on the cart page, this is where you will come and enter in any type of comments. I know, for example, some of you are being asked to put, for example, what department this should be charged to, or what's the fund source that it's going to go against. Some of you have that as an attachment. Some of you have it as an attachment that you're going to put with the shopping cart. However, some of you, they want you to put that in the comment on the cart. And you do that by, underneath this general section, you'll click on Edit. And it opens up this box, and I'm going to put in just a description. This is really just for me so that I can find my cart. So I'm just going to call this my March office order. And then I'm going to put in my comments here. For example, it might be Department 820001, and it might need to go to the Fund 10100. Okay? So you can put the comments. The comments go into this field, and then you can put anything else that you want included to go along with the cart that will eventually pass over into the requisition. Then I click on Save. And any type of attachment that needs to be included in this with this order or with this request, I just click on Add Attachment. I go find the file that's on my desktop. Select the document and upload it in. Then I click Save. And it just adds the attachment onto the, you'll now see it underneath the attachment section of the cart. After I've entered in my comments and done my attachments, I then will click on the Assign Cart button. So on this Assign Cart pop-up menu that comes, or pop-up page that comes, most of you will be set up with your supervisor should already be who you're linked to. So for example, I have State Approver 1 as my supervisor, and that person's already there. But there may be certain types of purchases that you are doing that need to go to someone else. For example, and it works differently at all the different colleges, how everyone's chosen to do it. But if, for example, if you had the business process that I was office supply orders needed to go to, or I'm ordering these office supplies and it was going to come out of student activity fees, for example, it may need to go to student activities before it goes to my supervisor, or after it's gone to the supervisor needs to send it to the student activities group. How that's done is specific to your college, but my point is you'll either have someone defaulted to you, or you'll also have this drop-down that will have a list of either other people or other departments, and you'll pick from that list, and it will send this card. It will just assign this card from you to that next person. Okay, so how it's going to work at your individual college, it varies, but most of you, when you start off your card, the first person that's in here is your supervisor, and you'll pick your supervisor. If you get carts assigned to you, of course, you will then either assign it to your purchasing department, or if there's special routing, you will have other people that you will be able to choose from the drop-down to send the cart to them. So once I've picked who the cart needs to be assigned to, I can also put in a note. And then I click on Assign. When I click on Assign, this menu will come up that says, congratulations, your card has been assigned, and it has sent to that State Approver 1, or whoever the cart needs to get assigned to, it has sent an email notification to them that they have a cart that's been assigned to them. And you'll notice now that my current cart is empty. So now I'm going to do a cart for what's a non-catalog item. So I come back to my home page, and I click on, right in the middle of the screen, the non-catalog item. So the non-catalog item page pops up. And so if I'm ordering from someone that's not a statewide contract supplier, I'll enter in best vendor. Or I can type in BEST and best vendor will pop in. And I just pick that as the vendor. So, and I'm going to show you, you'll put who your actual vendor is, who you want the purchase order done for in the comment section of the cart. So we do not have over in the SyQuest application all of the vendors that are in the PeopleSoft application that purchase orders are issued to. So you'll put in your product description. For example, I'm going to do a software maintenance. For my catalog number, I'm just going to put not applicable. If you're ordering something and you know the part number, you can put the catalog number in that field. I'm going to do this for a quantity of 1. The price estimate is going to be $500. And in my packaging, I'm going to pick a year. I've also got the NIGP code. So if I want to categorize the software maintenance, I can do the lookup, and the search button comes up. And so, for example, if I want to say software and do a search, then this list of a lot of software comes up, a lot of everything that has software in it. But if I want to filter it more and just say, for example, I know my NIGP codes that some of the services start with a 9, I can put in a 9, so all the 9 codes that start with software. So for example, I'm going to pick this software maintenance support, 92405, to add that NIGP code onto my cart. I'm then going to click Save and Close. You'll notice now that my cart, it looks as if it's disappeared, but actually it's up here. So I'm just going to click on the 500 because now I'm ready to check out. So I click on Checkout, and that brings me back to the cart page where I'll be able to see if I can keep on adding lines to that cart if I'm ordering multiple things, and it'll just keep filling up the cart with all the different line items. But when I'm ready when I'm done with this particular cart, I check out and come to this page. Again, I want to click on the Edit button. Now I'm just going to describe my cart. Again, I'll put in the comments field, my department, my fund, whatever your procurement department has asked you to put in your comment field. I'll save that. And then again, my attachments also go on this general tab. I know that there's a comments tab and there's an attachment tab, but comments that are added on this comments tab do not pass over to the requisition in PeopleSoft. So you want to use this tab on the general section to put in your comments, because these comments will actually pass from the cart over into the PeopleSoft requisition and then eventually get passed over to the purchase order as well. So once I've added comments and done my attachments, again, I assign my cart, and I can put in a note. And I click on Assign. So I'm going to go ahead and check the questions. If you have any questions on how to use the system to enter a cart and how to assign a cart to the supervisor, if we've got specific questions about how it's being done at your particular college, I can pull up the slide and put you in touch with the correct contact person. Did get a question if will I be able to send out copies of the slides? Yes, I will send this presentation out to the agency advisor, or to the team that was part of the project, and then they can send it out from there. So I'll make sure I do that. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a good question. Where does the vendor name get entered, in what area? It goes in the comments section of the cart. So if I'll go back, I'm going to go back and just do the cart again. If I do the non-catalog item, so in this section of the cart, in this comment section, I can put the vendor. Okay? Because that information will be seen by the procurement department, and it also gets copied over into the requisition as well. Ms. Roberts, you have a question about how would we, Mary Roberts, how would we create a card for training or conference registrations? It would be a non-catalog, non-catalog item. The specifics around what they need as far as what attachments or what detail level of information on the cart, you would need to contact your procurement department about what specifically they want. But it would be a non-catalog item. Question, what types of things do not go through through Team Georgia Marketplace? That again is a question. Every college is a little bit different. Some people are going to use it for everything that their old system used to be part of. Some of you might keep it up. They may be keeping it up for certain types of purchases. So you'll need to ask that question to your super user to find out your specific thing and whether or not it needs to go through Team Georgia Marketplace. Any of the purchases for, this is a non-government approved vendor, such as art supplies. I think you meant a non-statewide contract supplier. That would be a non-catalog item as well. So if it was eventually ending up being a purchase order or processed through your financials group, they'll use this to, a cart basically gets created for those purchases. We did a question, can you check the status of your order once it leaves, once you've assigned it? Yes, you can see your cart history. You go up into your carts, and you'll be able to see My Carts and Orders. And so you'll be able to see all of your carts that are out there. Once your cart gets pulled into PeopleSoft, so your cart becomes what's called a requisition. You will get a notification when your cart gets pulled in into a PeopleSoft requisition. It'll tell you when it's been processed into there. If it's an order for a statewide contract supply, you'll also be notified when a purchase order gets created. But for the non-catalog items, you will only receive the notification once your cart's been pulled into the procurement department, unless your procurement department has another method for notifying you of your order. One question says, if you need to order something from Staples that's not on the state's contract list, do you use the non-catalog item form? Yes, you do. And you can actually put Staples as the vendor on that non-catalog item. And you are able to order it that way. We got a question about that I put year as my packaging. That's just something that I did. A lot of people may want to use each or lot, or I was just saying it was an annual, it was a dollar amount for an annual amount. There is not a way to save the information for the vendor, so you will have to cut and paste it in or type it in each time that you do a cart if it's somebody you order from a lot. It says, can we put the vendor name in the description box in addition to the comment area? Yes, that's fine to do that. That description field, however, will not pass over into the PeopleSoft application. So you can put the vendor name in there for your own purposes, just so that you can locate your cart later. But only the cart name, which has your email address in it, so you don't want to change that, because that's how your procurement department is going to know who was the original shopper on the cart, is with that cart name. But if you want to, if you've got the vendor name in the description field, is fine. But you also want to put it in the comment section, so because that comment passes over into the requisition. We've got a question about, does every non-catalog order have to have an NIGP code? That is something you'll need to check with your procurement department about. And do we have flow charts based off of the various scenarios? Well, you may ask again, you'd have to ask your procurement department if they've put those together. Our implementation team does not create any type of documentation for specific types of purchases at each one of the colleges. This is basically showing how to actually put it into the system. Okay, that's all the questions we've got on how to do a cart for a statewide contracted item and how to do a non-catalog item as well. So now I'm going to log in as I'm going to go ahead and log out so I can show you how to log out. So underneath your name, you've got a drop down. You can click on log out. That takes you back to the login page. And I'm going to log in as the approver because that's who we assigned the cart to. So again, I have gotten a notification that's told me I've had carts assigned to me, and I've logged into the application. And you'll notice that when I log in, I now have underneath action items, I've got carts assigned to me. So I can click on that link, and it will show me the 3 carts that are currently sitting out there that have been assigned to me. These are the 2 that I did today. You'll notice that this cart description comes up, and then the cart name has the who the shopper was. You can also click on your shopping cart and go to My Carts and Orders, and go to My Active Shopping Cart, and you'll see it as well. Okay, so you can use your action items or use the shopping cart navigation. When I'm ready to take a cart that's been assigned to me, for example, if I want to take this first order, I can click on the link and it makes it my active cart. Okay, if I'm not ready to process that cart, I can come back and you'll notice that back on my draft, this blue one is the one that's currently assigned to me, but if I want to make the other cart my active cart, I just click on it, and it becomes my active cart. You'll notice that it just has the one line item on it for the $500. So I now have this cart. I proceed to checkout. If I want to see the attachments, I can just click on the attachments and they'll launch or they'll download. Okay. If I need to add to the comments, I just edit the comments. One thing I want you to notice is if you click on this History tab, this is going to track everything that happens to the cart. Okay? So for example, this shows you that the state shopper, what they did, they added all of this information. They added the lines, they put in the attachment, they put the comments in. When they assigned it, the cart got assigned from State Shopper 1 to State Shopper Approver 1. And then now that I came in and modified the comments, they went from this to this. So any change that's made on a cart, who it's been assigned to, if they modify a price or a description or they take off an attachment or put one on, it's all going to be tracked in the history of the cart. So if I come back to the requisition summary of the tab, and I'm done with this cart, then I click Assign Cart, and again, you will have in this who you're assigned to. Some of you might have purchasing in your list. If it's going to the purchasing department, it might be a specific person, and you may need to change it from whoever is currently your default, but you can hit the drop down and you will see a list of who it needs to go to. So I'm just going to take this card and this is actually my purchasing person, so I'm just going to assign this card to them. And then I click Assign. If I click back on my action items, I now have just 2 carts assigned to me. If I'm ever going to be unavailable to approve people's carts or carts that are going to be assigned to me and I'm going to be out and I want to designate someone else to approve those carts for me, from this cart page, you can click on Assign Substitute, and you can find another person that you can substitute yourself in. So when someone picks you to assign the cart to, it will automatically reassign that cart from you to whoever you designate as your substitute. It will send you an email notification that the cart was substituted, that it did go to the other person. So you will get a history that the cart was assigned to you and got automatically substituted to someone else. And all of that will be tracked in the history of the cart as well. So but you can only designate one substitute person. So next order I'm going to take, or next request card I'm going to take is this, is the one I did earlier for Office Max. I'm going to take that cart. I'll click on the Proceed to Checkout. And then I sign the cart. And I click Assign. There will be reminder notifications set up, so if you have a cart that has been sitting with you for a few days, it will send you reminder notifications that you've got a cart that you need to process. There is, when you get a cart assigned to you, you do have the ability, I'm going to go ahead and just look at this last cart that I've got. I do have the ability to return the cart back to the shopper. So for example, if this was out and I've decided that I want them to take something off of the cart, I can just return the cart back to the original shopper. It's from the last person actually that sent the cart to me. And that will just send them a notification that they've had the cart sent back to them as well. So are there any questions around once you get a cart assigned to you, how you move it forward in the process? I don't see any questions coming in. Give you just a couple minutes. Again, I will send this presentation to the team so that they can get distributed to who they think it needs to go to. Hopefully you've gotten some quick reference guides that walk you through this process. I didn't come back to this slide. Let me run through it real quick, make sure I've got everything. Email notifications sent when it gets assigned to you. This is how you can go and you can click on My Carts and Orders, View Draft Shopping Carts to see all of the carts. I showed you how to do a substitute person when you're going to be out. Your cart eventually, just so you know, is your buyer or requester at the college will take the carts and they'll turn into requisitions, and then the buyer will turn those requisitions into purchase orders. Any kind of questions you have about who the cart should be assigned to, what type of specific types of carts, you need to direct that to your college agency super user. And there's also quick reference guides for cart approvers as well that will get sent out. All right, we didn't get any more questions. So if you are, again, this is being recorded. I will work on the file and get that uploaded to YouTube. And oh, we did have a question come in real quick. Who actually orders the cart? That would be the buyer. So the buyer ends up taking the cart, and it becomes a requisition, and the requisition becomes a purchase order, and the PO is sent to the vendor. So this will be recorded, and you will receive a link to the webinar in case you want to go back and watch it. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break and get set up for, you want to stay on the call if you are a PeopleSoft requester or a buyer. We're going to walk through how to take the carts and pull them into PeopleSoft and process them into requisitions. So I'll be back at about 4:20. And again, you can drop off this call if you are if your only role is to be a shopper, or if you get